So we got to talk about the breaking news that hit earlier today, man, as it was reported that Stephen A. Smith was removed from one of ESPN top shows, which would be NBA Countdown. So the article from the New York Post, man, it says Stephen A. Smith off NBA Countdown and ESPN surprise. It said ESPN is making changes to Stephen A. Smith on air duties. The worldwide leader announced this week that the new look NBA Countdown team will debut Wednesday, and Smith was noticeably missing from the lineup, which includes third-year host Malika Andrews alongside senior ESPN writer Brian Windhorst and 2023 NBA champion head coach Michael Malone and former NBA champ Kendrick Perkins as analysts. Then they said, additionally, ESPN senior NBA insider Shams will continue to make regular appearances on the show. So everybody was like, yo, this is not looking good for Stephen A. Smith. What is going on? Because why would he get removed from NBA Countdown? Remember, Michelle Beadle just revealed how they had did her when they was giving her like this little heartfelt goodbye on NBA Countdown. And then shortly after her last day there, they had removed everything from her and then replaced Stephen A. Smith as the face for NBA Countdown, right? So everybody was like, yo, it's looking like this could be another possibility where, ESPN is shortly about to get rid of Stephen A. Smith.
Literally the morning of my last day on Get Up, as Greeny was giving me a heartfelt goodbye, and I awkwardly sat there. As I was leaving the set, they started a promo that Stephen A. Smith will be on the show tomorrow. Like, it is him. So let's stop acting like the guy gets worked to death. It's him.
Yeah. So Stephen A. Smith reacted to the news about him being let go on ESPN's NBA Countdown. So I would like to highlight that, then I'll come back with some more commentary. Here's the clip right here. And be sure to hit that thumbs up button. That really does help these videos get pushed out to the algorithm. And I really do appreciate that, guys.
And I see some stuff about me from the New York Post talking about how Stephen A. Smith, ESPN is making changes to Stephen A. Smith and his role with NBA Countdown or whatever. So essentially, it's talking about me no longer doing NBA Countdown. And the New York Post is reporting it. I'm trying to figure out what the news is here. Before I get to Skip Bayless, let me say this. I had a contract negotiation last year that started in June and ended in March going into April. It was decided at that particular moment in time that I wouldn't be doing NBA Countdown anymore because I didn't want to. I love doing the show, but after the show is over, I got a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to do. And I didn't want to be stuck in studio until midnight. No shade against ESPN, no shade against my wonderful colleagues. Malika Andrews is an exceptional host. Working with my man Big Perk is obviously something I always want to do. Brian Windhorst is absolutely fabulous. Shams Charania is great. Mike Malone, former coach of the Denver Nuggets, I think is going to do an outstanding job. He did a great job with us covering the Western Conference Finals. But in case you haven't noticed, I got other things on my plate. There was no Sirius XM show, the Stephen A. Smith show on Mad Dog Sports Radio every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last year. There is now. There was no Straight Shooter with Stephen A., my political show, which is weekly every Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday nights on Sirius XM POTUS Radio Channel 124 last year. There is now. Both of those shows are under my production company. That wasn't the case last year. There's other stuff in the production world with scripted and unscripted content and game shows and things of that nature that I'm working on. I'm a busy man. So just to be clear, I'm always available because once you're working for ESPN, they're part of the family. You're a part of the family. And if they need me for anything, of course I'll show back up on NBA Countdown. They need me a few dates a year, sure. You need me to be with the crew, with Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith and Shaq and Ernie, fine. You need me to be with Malika and Big Perk and them, fine. There's dates in my contract that allows for that. But it was always my intent to come off. Something I negotiated. So just so we're clear, this story is a non-story. This is not some epiphany that everybody is getting attached to that, oh my God, this just happened and he's been yanked off the show. No, that didn't happen like that. I'm available when needed. And when I'm not needed, I got other stuff to do on my own. That's how that works. This was negotiated last year or earlier this year. Combination of the two. Just so we're clear.
Okay, so that's what Stephen A. Smith said, firing back at the New York Post. And I feel like Stephen A. Smith has been on this high horse lately, so he's not really paying attention to the details. And I really feel like he needs to pay attention to how certain people left or how certain people got removed from shows, like what Michelle Beadle has said. You know, even though I guess he doesn't really care for Michelle Beadle, right? But I feel like he should pay attention to how she said that they had did her. And that's the reason why I put that clip in today's video, because it's like, yo, ESPN could have literally said in the article that Stephen A. Smith is still going to make appearances, just like how they did with Shams in the article, right? They said Shams will still make appearances here and there, you know, when he has breaking news and stuff like that, which, you know, that was kind of like Stephen A. Smith's role as well. He would come on there to break some news and, you know, help those guys out if the ratings were low or whatever like that. But if they're removing him and he's trying to say, oh, it was intentional and stuff like that, which I feel like it's not, because why even respond to just a little report like this? It's like he has to respond to everything now. And I feel like he's doing that because he's losing his reputation. He's losing that draw. He's losing his star power, right? Why are you going back and forth with Jamel Hill online? Why are you not going back and forth with Michelle Beadle, who you said even yourself only had like 2,000 subscribers on her podcast? You claim to have this big #1 show, right? So it's like, I feel like Stephen A. Smith, he's losing that draw factor, and he's going to lose his power at ESPN, because we see Pat McAfee has a different power that Stephen A. Smith doesn't have, right? So if you're supposed to be the face card for ESPN, they shouldn't even put out an article without, you know, still showing you some love, saying, you know, Stephen A. Smith is still going to appear here and there or whatever, right? But I guess that wasn't the case. So all I'm saying is Stephen A. Smith should definitely pay attention to that, because he's not bigger than the program, and he needs to realize that, because at some point, if he's going to continue to draw negative attention to this network, knowing that these guys is going through abundance of things and abundance of changes over there, at some point, they're going to be like, yo, you're not even worth the headache. You already got your show set up. You're trying to set up shop for after ESPN anyways. Once we can find somebody that's like a bigger draw, a big name, we probably don't even need you no more, because we're already taking you off these other shows, right? And you know, ESPN is going to pay attention to the analytics and numbers. They're going to say like, yo, okay, you're not the draw anymore, right? You're not the draw, you're not the face card anymore. So we'll see how this thing play out. To me, it's definitely something going on, in my opinion. Stephen A. Smith is trying to act like, oh, you know, I did this. And similar to how Skip Bayless was trying to say, oh, you know, I did that intentionally with Fox Sports. I wanted to be let go. And, you know, it was just all of this, like this ego thing, where I feel like when these guys get fired or removed, they just can't say, you know, hey, the network wants to move on. They always try to come out and be like, no, I wanted to do that. And yeah, man, so that's just my opinion on that, man. I could be completely wrong, man. So I would like for you guys to get in the comment section down below as well. I would love to hear your thoughts about today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next one, and we out, guys. Peace.